Hey, this is Matthew Jennings, and I'm here at Peachjar headquarters hanging out with Chris Beal, the Director of Customer Care. We're going to be talking about program providers and how they leverage Peachjar. Stay tuned. Chris, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I appreciate you taking time out of the day. I know you're super busy.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. Yeah.
I've been running around the headquarters here, grabbing people for interviews.
Sure.
So this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But let's just talk a little bit. Just tell us a little bit about who you are and what your role is here at the company.
Yeah. So my name's Chris Beal. I'm the Director of Customer Care here at Peachjar. So what that means is I manage the customer care department. So we work with program providers around the nation who are looking to reach parents to promote their programs utilizing Peachjar.
I love that. So talk to me a little bit about that. Like, an organization, large, small, leveraging Peachjar. What does that mean?
Yeah. So obviously there's program providers throughout the nation who are looking to reach parents to promote their programs, whether that's signups or just information that they're looking to get out to parents. And like you mentioned, that could be as small as a local little league that's looking to send their flyer out to just their one or two schools in their area, or a karate studio, all the way up to large program providers who have a statewide reach or even a national reach looking to promote their programs. So it really runs the gamut of a program provider looking to reach one school, all the way up to a national program provider who's looking to reach all of the schools, the thousands of schools utilizing Peachjar. Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Can you imagine as a program provider that national level being able to just with a few mouse clicks hit thousands of schools across the country?
And that's the great thing about Peachjar is in the old timey days, I know back when I was a kid, you'd have to send out paper flyers, hand them to students, and it's really up on you're relying on a student to make sure that information makes sure it gets home to a parent or guardian, which is always difficult. So since we've digitized that whole process, program providers are able to reach parents directly with their digital flyers, promote their programs. Not only that, but we provide the metrics on the back end, which is obviously something not available with paper flyers. Program providers are able to see, the number of parent or guardians that are receiving that email, who's opening or how many are opening that email, if they're clicking on the flyer. And we also have these call to action buttons that you can add onto your flyer to drive people directly to your website to learn more about your programs or sign up. And there's insight through our metrics through that as well. So.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, the metrics on paper flyers are that they're squished in the bottom of the backpack.
They're zero, or the bottom of the trash can. Yeah, exactly. So obviously, paper's kind of gone the way of the past. I personally don't utilize paper for anything anymore. I don't even get on an airplane or go to a baseball game with a paper ticket anymore. So it's really just the way business is done moving forward. So,
we've really progressed that way, which is great. And we are saving the environment. We do have counters, that track how many trees we've saved. Millions and millions and millions of sheets of paper
obviously
saved every year
there's the green aspect to it as well. And then something to think about too is it eliminates the number of people on campuses too, which I know is a concern in this day and age. So you don't have to have people coming to the campus to drop off paper flyers anymore. They can do that through the comfort of their own home. And it also helps the program providers from driving around to 10 schools each day, saving money on gas, saving money on printing paper flyers. So it's something that can be done at home with a click of a button, just uploading the flyer and submitting to the school districts that you're looking to reach for approval.
That's really true. And you touched on the cost there, and I find sometimes when I talk to people that they forget about some of those costs associated with that, right? The driving around, the printing.
I think that if you're driving around all day dropping off paper flyers, if you're pinning off paper flyers, you might not necessarily associate a cost for that, but there is obviously definitely a cost involved, not only in the gas, the paper fees, but the time you're spending doing that as well. If you're spending half a day or a full day driving around and dropping off paper flyers, time is money, so it's eliminating the time that needs to be done for that as well. So
it is. And then another hidden cost is when those flyers reach a school, there's staff costs and associated with that as well. The front office manager is sorting it, putting it in teacher inboxes, teachers are taking it, putting it in the weekly folders or getting them to there's a lot of staff time and public dollars even associated with it at that point.
Yeah, so I mean, it's probably only takes a teacher a couple minutes to hand out these flyers, but if you do that times 50, 100 times a year, that's a lot of time. That
every teacher at the school.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of time that could be spent, focusing on teaching students as opposed to handing out paper flyers in the classroom. So that's a great point. It's creating more time for teachers to do what they do best, which is teach.
Yeah. So, and then ultimately it connects parents, guardians, and the community in a way that's more effective, in a way that they want to receive, in a way that we are all receiving information on our phones.
Yeah.
What are you hearing back from community orgs, for example, that are using the system?
Yeah. I mean, we hear positive feedback from program providers, community organizations that are utilizing Peachjar. Some of the benefits that we mentioned earlier in our conversation, as far as the need not to be driving around and dropping off paper flyers, not to be paying for paper flyers. And really the insights that they see from the metrics once the flyer is sent out is something that they've never, they've never known before. Like we mentioned, handing a paper flyer to a student, you're really relying on a third grader, a fifth grader, even a high school student, depending on who you're looking to reach, to make sure that information gets to its intended audience. And this is a way to make sure that information is being delivered to the correct audience
in the best way that we can. And helping businesses scale, helping businesses grow. There seems to be it seems like there's a real connection there.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of Peachjar, is you can go as big or as small as you want with Peachjar. We find, most program providers like to start with a couple schools to begin with, and as they have success, they grow their reach. Obviously, some program providers are limited for if they have a physical brick and mortar location. They probably aren't going to have somebody driving an hour away to come to sign up for their programs. But a lot of program providers obviously see success with their first test run with Peachjar, and then they grow the number of schools that they're looking to reach. Not only did I mention, if you're offering online programs and you're not limited by a physical boundary, Peachjar opens those doors for you to reach more parents. It could be in somebody on the other side of the country, since everything lives online. So we've helped a lot of program providers scale their business and increase their reach by utilizing our platform.
Yeah, with a few clicks of a mouse, you can reach schools all across the country. Yeah. One of the things that I find really interesting in talking to the community providers, we do connect with, we call it Community Champions, as on our YouTube channel, YouTube series that we have, and we talk to some of the really great community providers out there. And we talked to the Guitar Ninjas, so shout out to the Guitar Ninjas a couple of months back, and they mentioned that they do want to scale, but they teach guitar, and it's physical. While you can do that online, it's run as a physical operation, in an actual place. So they are looking to scale and grow, but they're only looking to grow in locations where the local school district is using Peachjar, because we are that important to their marketing strategy.
We hear that frequently, actually.
That's great.
It's when are you going to sign on this school district? When are you going to be in this area? And we have an excellent school sales team that is constantly working on signing more school districts on to utilize Peachjar. But that's a common question we get from program providers. Is like, hey, I'm having a ton of success with this school district. How about this one? And if they have contacts at the school district that we should be reaching out to, then we always ask for them to provide those, and we pass those along to our school sales team to get them on the platform for sure.
That's wonderful. Well, I really appreciate that. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me through this. Is there anything, like design-wise, anything else we can just kind of encourage community orgs out there? I know that's a big one. A lot. We know that the data shows that most of the information school districts are sending out, probably Peachjar as well, is being received on cell phones. So you want to really think about design in that way.
Of course,
the smaller screen set, but we are optimized that way. So we are optimized for the cell phone. So when you send flyers out through Peachjar, know that when parents receive it on their device, it's going to be really easy for them to navigate those buttons you had mentioned, sign up, learn more, registers, those kind of things. But is there any design?
So some really high-level best practices is to make an engaging flyer is you want it in colors. Bright colors really pop. Don't want black and white. Not a lot of text on there. This day and age, people don't want to read a novel. Just high-level, hey, these are the benefits of our program. This is what we're offering. And really utilize those call to action buttons that we mentioned earlier to drive parents and guardians to your website for additional information and to sign up. Those are really the three big ones. Just, bright colors, not a lot of text, and utilize the call to action buttons to drive people to your website for additional information and to sign up for your programs. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
excellent there. Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been really insightful, and I know that your team works really close, critical involvement with our community organizations. Of course, without our schools and districts and parents and guardians in our community, we're all stronger together. And so we know that students that are engaged in before and after school, enrichment opportunities do better in school. The districts see higher attendance rates, higher graduation rates. There's lower, suicide ideation, lower drug use. The benefits are just huge. Students that are engaged outside of the classroom do better inside of the classroom. So can't thank you and your team enough for what you do, connect to the community organizations across the country with all of our parents and guardians out there.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for chatting with me. I appreciate it, and had a good time.
Absolutely. Well, if you have any questions or if you are one of those community organizations, feel free to reach out to us. Just visit peachjar.com. You can get all the information you need there. I know Chris and his team would be happy to talk to you if you have any questions, just need some help navigating the process. That's all we got for now. Thanks very much for joining us.